I know, I'm back. Oh, heck. It's supposed to be my subscriber video. Doggone it. Well, you know what? This is an important conversation to have. I have 4 children. My littlest has autism. He's 8. 2 weeks ago, he threw his iPad down the stairs, which honestly is like nothing new. We've probably had, I don't know, 6 or 7 iPads in our life. We used to always have 2. But anyway, we don't have 2 anymore. We were down to 1. It broke. I was like, we live in a tiny town. There's no just run into Target and get yourself a new iPad. So I ordered one to pick at Walmart the next morning. We were flying. I got the replacement in because, we always have this Apple Care, blah, blah, blah. Well, we got through that day. This is 2 weeks ago, Sunday. And that night, he was reading and going to bed. And I had this thought to myself. And I was like, what if we didn't have an iPad? Now, that idea has always horrified me. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. And I know some people they're not going to like what I'm saying. But I'm not some doctor sitting behind a desk telling you what you should do. I am the person that gets it, right? And the next morning he got up and we were going on a plane trip in the car. We always have the iPad in the car. We have the iPad on the plane. We go out to dinner. We have an iPad. We go to church. We take the frickin' iPad. The iPad has ruled our life and I thought was making my life manageable. Okay, so I'm telling you, I get this. Well, I said the next morning, go wake up your brothers and sister. He did. He went in and said, Russell, Sissy. I guess it was just the 2 of them. And I thought again to myself, maybe we can do this. We went on an airplane. We had our books. I had Play-Doh. I had my nanny with me. I mean, I'm not saying that this was an easy process, getting rid of this iPad. I was crying at the playground. We were pushing him on the swing so much. He needed all that sensory input because he was literally having withdrawal from the iPad. It was a rough few days. My mother helped, my nanny, myself, my other children. It was really... There were a lot of tears shed, mainly on behalf of myself. We got home. He was like, the mail lost your iPad. Go to the iPad store, foul again. And now we're another weekend. Yes, Larissa, so scared. And I get it. So I wrote this post last night about kind of the changes I've seen in Amos. And there were a few people, and I'll tell you why this bothers me, but there are a few people that cannot handle hearing that this might be a solution because they are scared and unwilling to admit they're scared. One person said, well, my child has never been as excited as when I gave him an iPad. It's been good. Amos loved the iPad. He was excited. But without the iPad, he is interested in books. You can't comment on the non-subscriber video. Well, you've just commented, Conleen, so you're able to do it. And he wants to go out on a boat ride with Daddy. He talks to Daddy. He talks to his brothers and sister. He asked Sissy to get on that heinous trampoline with him. And so another person really got on me and said, you need to tell your followers that what you're talking about is just not research and truth. And said, correlation does not equal causation. So the fact that Amos's teacher is hearing him talk, he's interacting with his peers, all these things are just coincidental, right? No. And this person even went on to say, the changes you're seeing are due to delayed chemical washes in his brain, not technology use. Okay. That's like me saying, I quit smoking and I shouldn't smoke. And somebody saying, well, some cigarettes are good for some people. Mother fricker, they are not. I am sorry that this is truthful. So I have this subscriber group. You pay $5 a month. We dig into the nitty gritty dirty mess of life. But you have to be truthful. Lynn Marie said, you don't need to explain. But Lynn Marie, it's important to me to explain because I want people to encounter the truth head on. And I am coming at it from a solution that I didn't know these things. If I had known, get him a ukulele, you're on crack. Ain't no way getting anybody a ukulele. If I had known, would have I listened? Would I have argued? Would I be the person that says, well, exercise doesn't really help you? I mean, that's not true. Truth is hard and it is uncomfortable. But this morning I was like, I'm going to really look into this research because I looked into it the other day, which is why I was like, holy shit, people already knew this. It's brand new to me. So there is a lot of research in this area. The Journal of Autism, Psychology Today, NIH. I mean, if the National Institute of Health is telling you something, then it's something. People are entitled to their opinion. Patricia, I love an opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. But people really want to have 100. So 4 plus 4 is 8, right? There are some people that cannot take a fact and say, well, we have to respect each other's opinions. I do not. If you think 4 plus 4 is 7, you can think that, but you're just wrong. Sometimes there's a line in the sand, and you're right or wrong. When research says a mask works, then it says it. If research says technology for children with autism has a greater likelihood of significantly causing negative behavior, then it's not an opinion that you don't agree. And I will not back down from that. I just won't. I won't. And so we're going to give you a little research, and you might want to tune out if you don't want to hear this. But I think this is really, really great information. So boys are twice as likely to have negative impacts from technology. Children with autism are particularly at risk for becoming addicted to technology. And it requires way less time for them to show the effects of technology addiction. So for your typical kids, my typical kids, you won't see as negative of an impact as you will with someone who has autism. Parents report significantly negative impacts for their children. Kids with autism are way less likely to email, Facebook, or actively use technology. So my son Russell is 14. He loves to be in his room playing on a video game with 10 of his friends from school. I would argue that it's sort of social, and the research argues that it is as well. So when Amos is on an iPad, and now this is me, other parents might be wonderful. They might be limiting their child to 30 minutes of ABC Mouse. I don't know. And that's the other thing. Media is coming after you saying, oh, this stuff really helps social and communication, and you need these things for your children to learn, whether they have autism or not. The best thing for your children to learn is a bucket of sand, a water hose, and, some turtles. That's how you learn. Now, children with autism struggle with the ability to manage spending time alone. Internet use dominates a person's behavior and causes unpleasant emotions. You become irritable if you are unable to play. Now, let me tell you about this. Internet use dominates personal behaviors. We could not, and this is Adrian's family, but there's research about this. We could not go to Mama Sita's before it moved because they didn't have internet. So we could not go to a restaurant to eat because there was no internet, so we couldn't play on the iPad. That's a little bit of a problem, right? And I just thought, well, it's my life. I have a child with special needs. You don't understand. But no. And Kimberly, for children that do not have autism, children particularly between ages 2 and 4 that spend a lot of time on technology, you are seeing autistic-like behaviors because they are not getting the social emotional needs met. They have delayed language acquisition. You're not making eye contact. All the things that are developmentally good for us, an iPad is the opposite. Now, the NIH says, this is the National Institute of Health, people that use children, autism or not autism, that use technology more than 3 hours a day, language delay, short attention span, hyperactivity, can cause neurochemical and anatomical brain changes. These are big, big things. Rachel, I bow down. Yeah, Rachel, you're in the middle of it, right? You're like thinking, holy shitoli, how am I going to get rid of that iPad, right? Because the iPad is the short-term solution to a huge problem that moms like us have. And the problem is, what in the world are we going to do with these children if they're not on an iPad? So we're going to get to this researcher's solution, and I love her, Dr. Victoria Dunkley. She's an MD, and she's done a ton of research on the electronic screen syndrome, which is what she calls it. Now, why do children with autism like screens? When you say, oh, but they love it, it's so exciting. It provides a repetitive and predictable interface that is customized to a specific interest. So for Amos, my person, he loves countries and national anthems and, flags. And everybody's like, wow, even me, like he knows all the countries, he knows the flags. But I would say, and now I'm a little bit embarrassed, I mean, he knows, Mongolian national anthem, but he can't say hello to people. Since we have taken away the iPad, he's saying hello to people. And it's not just coincidental. Another person said, well, maybe he outgrew the iPad. What? That's like saying someone has outgrown heroin. Getting rid of that iPad was pure T hellaciousness. We didn't just outgrow something. This is not just, oh, it's a coinky dink. No. So much, I believe in this so much that I have done this, taken notes, because I have no iPad, not taking a shower before my meeting at 10:30. Amos is calmer. Yes, my subscribers that are coming on, they are noticing the differences in Amos. My daughter doesn't slow during the day for an iPad too often, but she wants it at night. I give in. Yes, so Amos was using it way more than 2 hours a day. But Rachel, the research is very specific on if you are having sleep problems, that nighttime screen use really lowers serotonin and melatonin in your system. So those sleep issues are directly related to screen time at night. And again, I was doing the same thing. So screen time acts as a stimulant, which can be particularly tough on the autistic brain, which we know is more sensitive and less resilient. So it might exacerbate tics, self-injurious behaviors, aggression, and sensory issues. Screen time, again, suppresses melatonin and disrupts sleep disturbances. Amos has been on trazodone for sleeping, guanfacine, melatonin. Sleep has been a huge thing, but I have been letting him have the iPad right before he goes to sleep. And then I'm like, he doesn't sleep, poor me. I just wish somebody had told me. Maybe I wouldn't have wanted to hear it. Prone to arousal regulation issues, hyperarousal, increased stress, inflammation of the nervous system with screen time at night. Light at night decreases REM sleep. Underconnected brain, atrophy of gray matter in technology and addiction brain studies. So Amos's gray matter is already kind of iffy. We had an MRI way, way long ago. But to know that the iPad is causing atrophy and gray matter for people that have technology addictions using over 3 hours a day, and for people with autism, it can be even less time. Social and communicative deficiency, impaired eye contact, difficulty reading facial expressions and body cues, low empathy, and impaired cognition are all the negative pieces of screen time. For children with autism, they already have impaired eye contact, difficulty reading facial expressions, body cues, low empathy, impaired communication. Honor, would you stop messing with the cat? Come here. Come on. Again, so it's even harder for them. Prone to anxiety, OCD, social anxiety, abnormality in the serotonin system, fragile attention system, screen time fractures attention, depletes mental reserves, impairs executive functions. Y'all, these are like things that when I have an IEP meeting, Honor, would you stop it? Quiet. Leave the cat alone. Come on. You come down here. Now, go down. You get your toy. Like, I have IEP meetings talking about these things. And can you share the information you're reading? So Victoria Dunkley, Dunkley, and I'm going to do I emailed her to see if I could condense her list into kind of a reading format, and I haven't heard back from you. Haven't heard back from her. Psychology Today. Do a Google search of autism and the effects of technology. And it's really, really good. So Dr. Dunkley has already written the article, and I just want to condense it, but I need to get permission from her. Screen time replaces things we know are critical for brain development. Yeah. Nicole, I stopped giving my boys their tablets before bed, and it makes a huge difference in the amount of quality of sleep they get. It's unlikely you could have been open to hear and accept this information. Living with autism is hard. But I like research. So for me, nobody had ever told me this. And yes, somebody just said, why don't pediatricians tell this? I think it's probably like telling a fat person they're fat. They're like, I'm going to kill you. And that's probably, you're right, Carol, that's probably how I would feel about it. But brain development follows three things. And I have this great book called, what is that book? Well, now I can't remember. My brain is done. Bonding. Here's what is good for brain development. Bonding, movement, eye contact, face-to-face interaction, touch, exercise, free play, exposure to nature. None of those things have to do with an iPad. So when you tell me, well, the iPad is better for my child with autism, I'm not going to say you might not see some benefits. I love that Amos knows every national anthem on the planet. But knowing every national anthem on the planet doesn't help Amos become a person in the community and, interacting with his peers, which what do I want most of all? I want him to have a place in this world, and I have to help him do that. That is my job. It's not for him to be like everybody else, but I want him to have a place, And the research again says it might be really hard, and Dr. Dunkley said, but it can be exciting and inspiring. And I will just say 100% that's true. Stay on task, sleep better, less meltdowns, lower anxiety, increase in flexibility and behavior. Yes, so Deb, one of my supporters, just said, noticing while watching, nice to see Amos with his head up and smiling, engaging. It has been noticeable as a viewer. Yes, nature therapy, that's so neat. I would cut a doctor for telling me to take it away. I would rather hear from you. Nonverbal at night, we use the speech device, all the apps are coming off the iPad. And Amos, I think, needs an Ogcom device, but we have not been able to use an iPad because he uses the iPad for fun. So now I'm really at a good point where if we reintroduce an iPad as an Ogcom device, that will be great. He'll be excited to see the Ogcom, the iPad, and all it will be used for is to help him communicate with other people. He's wearing his glasses. He hasn't worn his glasses in like 2.5 years. because his ability to regulate was so low. If you put the glasses on, he was going to break the TV. I mean, I just can't tell y'all, this behavior is way different. Staying on task, like his teacher in his traditional class is like, oh my gosh, he's doing his reading. Like he's sitting at the table with a bunch of other first graders and he's reading a passage and answering questions. That ain't a coincidence. He's sleeping better. I'm able to exercise. I've lost 20 pounds. Now, granted, I lost that before and quit smoking. So there's a lot of success around here. That's why we're real tired. Less meltdowns. Holy shmoly. Yes. Lower anxiety. Yes. He got on that trampoline. 2 of our neighbors came over and jumped on the trampoline with him. And you know what he did? He jumped with them. He didn't stay inside with an iPad. When my husband was going on the boat, I said, do you want to go? Yes. He got his life jacket on. He didn't scream over the life jacket. He went on the boat. Flexibility and behavior, and I'm gonna end on that note because that's the most amazing one. So we have a nanny. She helps. I mean, I do work. I know it seems like I just do videos, but it's actually work. That's why I have subscribers. So I can do research like this and share it with you all, and you pay me $5 a month to look sweaty, walk around in a sports bra, and plan weekends for followers when we have 200 people coming in May to eat. No, but anyway, I digress. Saturday, our nanny was off this weekend. She had gone to Florida with us, just giving her a break. Saturday, we get up. I make breakfast. Amos sleeps in now because he's not waking up at 4 in the morning saying, I need the iPad. And I would be like, fine, take it because I need sleep. And we screwed around. My husband played tennis. And I said to Blair, let's go to the Habitat store. We were going to drop off some stuff and we like to go and, see what they have. I said, Amos, do you want to go with us to the Habitat store or do you want to stay here with Russell? Stay here with Russell. I said, okay. He's in there. He's got his books. He's on the, play gym thing. Well, then he said, go with mommy and Sissy. So no shoes. I said, well, you got to wear shoes. So we take the shoes in the car. He gets his shoes on. We go to the Habitat store. He looks at toys. He plays with toys. We decided not to buy any toys because there was a long line. Then we went to the Dollar General. Same thing. He wanted Cheetos. I said, well, we're not going to get Cheetos. We're going to go home and have lunch. And Blair and I, Amos, in the car. Now he's taking his shoes off like every time we've stopped somewhere. So that gets sort of old. But I said to her, he is so much more fun now. And she was like, I know. I was like I have had fun today with him. Like this has been fun. It is never fun to take him places. It's always work and effort and tiring and exhausting. And he is fun. And the reason he hasn't been fun is because I have used an iPad as a short-term help, and it's just exacerbated a problem. It's just been great. And I am on the phone less. One, he's still doing a lot of swinging for sensory input, I guess. But he and I are doing stuff. We're talking and we're chatting and we're cooking and playing and we're doing stuff. And oh my gosh, Amos would break his neck in Crocs. His tennis shoes are Velcro, and he will put them on if he wants to. Anyway, it's I realize there are people out there that are going to be like, it helps us. Do it. So what Dr. Dunkley says is, because it sounds really terrifying to just throw in the towel and be like, no more iPad, I'm going to just, stop smoking crystal meth. Do a 4-week fast. Do it for 4 weeks. Are you wishing you had done this months ago? Years ago, and I'm wishing that I never allowed it to happen, Amanda. Yes, if I could go back, I would not have had an iPad. Now, he has one at school, and he uses it for 10 or 15-minute increments. They do educational stuff on it. Fine. I have no problem. I realize an iPad, and there are some of you out there that are allowing an iPad for 30 minutes, an hour a day, and you're able to do that, and your child is social and interacting with you, high five, fist bump, ching ching, way to go. But that won't me. Adrienne let a child be on an iPad for hours on end, and I couldn't control it. Amos's school does not use it too much, I don't think, at all. Maybe 30 minutes at the most. So no, that's not too much. Too much is what was happening at my house. Wake up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday and use it until you eat at 11 a.m. and then get back on it. Refuse to want to go do anything because you want to be on an iPad. I won't give any kid an iPad and let them be on it for hours. Well, never say never, V. I wouldn't have thought I would have either until I had an Amos. So, nothing like some autism to make you eat some crow. Yeah, and I'm not like sad, but I'm just, now look, you people don't live in Edenton. You don't know about these things called mayflies. So mayflies show up one day and they live one day and then they die. And pretty soon there'll be 490,000 of them in my house. Yes. So anyway. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I guess I'm not getting my shower before my meeting at 10:30. And subscribers, we are going to have a little lunch chat. Well, no, not a lunch chat. Let's have a early evening chat with Blair. Blair is real excited over, so we're having a big subscriber weekend, and we have gift bags that we're working on, and Blair wants to show them to the subscribers. So that'll be tonight. Maybe it's 7, 8-ish. Carry on, my people. Carry on. Come over and become a subscriber if you need daily videos and advice you don't want.